Why hello there, fellow Vulcan farmers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, episode 49, super alloys, and 105 trays of dead plants. RIP. At the start of the stream, I need to fix the farm. So one of the things I had mentioned is before I start taking on mega projects, and honestly, I should have probably included the advanced furnace in this. I had mentioned wanting to upgrade our farming automation and like gas automation because I don't have a lot of alerts or alarms, and it's really easy to get engrossed in a project and then fail to notice something is fatally wrong. And unfortunately for me, that's happened. So all the plants in the farm are dead. All of them. What ended up happening was we ran out of water in the farm and it all died off, and I don't have any alarms for that. So, yeah, we're going to have to re-sow the plants. So the first thing I'm working on is fixing the farm, and I'm not yet going to set up the, like, fail-safes for that. Instead, what I plan to do is set up a system that allows us to refresh the water a little bit more easily. Okay, so in here, I'm going to get a pressure regulator. Or a, what is it called? Liquid... digital valve? No, liquid, God, what is it called? Regulator. Regular old regulator. So iron, gold, copper. And then I want a regular old valve, too. And this will make sense once I set it up, I think. So, an old-fashioned liquid valve is just fine. Alright, the plan is to put water into this system through a pressure regulator. Like this, where you can set the output fullness to, like, let's say 80%. Basically, fill it till it's like 80% full. And then the valve, I'll probably put the radiators, I'm going to move the radiators so that this works better. And then a valve to essentially allow the water to flow back around the base so it doesn't get stuck in the canister section. A really simple fix, but like one that I think is going to be pretty effective. So then a valve here. An old-fashioned valve. And that allows the water to then freely flow back into the system. Alright, let's pull like a blue color. There we go. Put some radiators back there. And then maybe put a radiator here. So I need one more liquid pipe, insulated liquid pipe. Actually, really doesn't need to be insulated, but I'll just keep doing it. And that is the last steel that I have. So obviously I'm going to need to make a batch of steel, melt some... actually, I have some silicon. It's right there. But more silicon wouldn't be a bad idea either. There we go. And now that that water system has been upgraded, we can pressurize it a lot easier. Canisters, that is. So that we can replace water into the farm. Now, eventually what I plan to do, once I handle some of the other tasks that are more pressing, I plan on setting up alerts and alarms to measure to let me know when I'm like running out of water, nitrogen, so on and so forth. You know, like warning systems, because I don't have any warning systems and I really ought to. Alright, so now that this is done, we can go ahead and turn this volume pump regulator. And what this should do is it should fill up this canister to 80% and not any higher. Basically, fill it all the way up. Fill it up with a whole bunch of water. Then we'll pull it out and put it in the farm. The next thing I need to do, while that is filling up, and do I trust this to fill up properly? I'm a little worried about it trying to, like, explode on me. So I think I'm going to babysit it this one time. Actually, let's change the fullness down to, like, 30%. So it stopped already. That's, like, actually a good sign. %. Now, the other thing is there's only, like, 13 liters of water left to pressurize that canister with. But that canister is at 7.5 liters of water. I would say 60% is fine. Turn it off. Take the canister out. And we'll be able to put that into the farm. So the other thing I wanted to do is to reseed the farm. So we're going to need soybeans. We're going to need wheat. And then I'm going to need ferns. And if we wanted to build rocketry or use more of the advanced furnace, obviously I'm going to need to be producing oxygen. And we don't really produce oxygen if, like, I kill all my plants in the farm. So, like, that is relatively urgent that we get that done. And cheers. Elizabeth and Bengali and Nightbird, thank you for the resubs. And Glitch for the cheer. So that water system should allow for easier canister fillings. I still kind of like the idea that I have a failsafe of, like, manually load canisters. So I'm going to continue the whole manually load canisters because I think it's smart. And now I have to do this 105 times as my black thumb of shame. I'm mostly eager to put down the first row, and then I'll clear the other dead plants waiting for expansion. So we're going to do 3 rows of ferns, leaving me with, like, 3 ferns left over. And then fill up the wheat and soy. And Turtle, thank you for the cheer hype train contribution. There we go. Ferns are in. Wheat is in. One thing I didn't do is, like, make sure that all the other stats in the farm is fine. But yeah, there's CO2, there's oxygen, there's nitrogen. It's temperate. There's water. So I don't see any immediate issues. Now there is an odd amount of steam in the hydrogen in this system, but, like, that's something I'm not going to address right now either. So let's go ahead and put the ferns away, and then I'll have to pull the other the fern spores that I have here, these guys, and then I'll pull the rest of the plants. JMC and Jamney, thank you for the resubs too. While I'm in here, I might as well hydrate and eat. We have some more raw ingredients to make more food. So I don't have to necessarily wait for everything to grow back, but, you know, bit of a bummer that happened. But at least it could have happened at a worse time. You know, if that happened early game, I would have been really screwed. But I had replacement seeds, I had replacement crop. So it was a big loss, but not like a full loss. There we go. The seeds are back. Alright, carbon dioxide is no longer filtering from Atmo, so let's make another carbon dioxide filter. And I'll check the other filters while I'm here too. That's another one of those tasks that I would like to address at some point, is an alert system for all the other gases other than just oxygen. Because, like, I care about the other gases as well. So, carbon dioxide filling up. Oxygen, we have 3 kilomoles. Volatiles, we have 4.5 kilomoles. Nitrogen, we have 14 moles. That doesn't surprise me. I don't really have a lot of source of nitrogen. Filters at 62, 23. Should be pretty high. 56 and 0. Oh. The other thing I wanted to do is actually take out the nitrous oxide filters, because I think there's room for, like, me accidentally filtering nitrous oxide into tanks that don't, where I don't want them. And the reason for this is when the furnace outgasses the gases we don't want, my intake vents for the waste system can randomly pick up gases that we expel out the furnace, meaning that nitrous oxide can actually be pulled in from atmosphere of Vulcan because I'm flushing it out into Vulcan. So pulling those filters prevents the possibility of me accidentally flushing NOS into somewhere it doesn't belong. So I did that. I don't know what the likelihood of that is, but, like, it's not 0. And given that it is not 0, that's, like, an unnecessary risk that I don't need to take. Okay. Then let's go ahead and clear the other 70 ferns. And then as soon as the first row of ferns are done maturing, we will sow more ferns in here. Basically, I want to fill it back up with ferns because this is the oxygen we use to make fuel for both the advanced furnace and also rockets, if and when we get into rocketry, which I intend to. So basically, the grand plan right now is to make the tools above my head, which is the new suit and the lenses. The lenses are going to allow me to mine a lot more easily, and the new suit will allow me to deal with the heat of Vulcan. And then once I have the new suit and the lenses and all the other super alloys made, I intend to start working on a rocket program. Yes, and also oxygen to make water too. Good point. And I should check to make sure that my little water setup worked properly with the valves such as they are. There we go. So, looks a little bare bones, but, like, these are all thriving. They should be okay. Alright, I'm going to regularly flush out carbon dioxide. Now, there is a risk of that, and that's another task that I wanted to manage. So, the big picture is, once I have the new suit, sensors, and super alloys, I want to make a base that is more error-proof, foolproof, meaning a little bit safer to set and forget, so that I can work on bigger projects without having to babysit things. Alright, so speaking of which, 12 liters are stuck in here, and now it is equalized with the rest in the network, where there's 23 liters available. So, yeah, this system is a great way to pressurize canisters and then let it flow around again, so I can drink it. Basically, before, it, like, would make water stuck in the canister system, and now I can drink every last drop if I wanted to. Not that I want to, necessarily, but I could. Okay. I don't think I have a lot of carbon dioxide at the moment, which means I don't have a lot of pressurant to make the rest of Waspaloy. But what I can do is I can talk about the what we need for the sensors in the suit. So ideally, a hard suit, which is Astroloy, Stellite, Steel, and the helmet, which is Stellite, Astroloy, and Steel as well, will protect me from the heat and, if there was pressure, but the heat of Vulcan a lot better. And then the other piece of this is the sensors. So the sensor lenses, which is silicon, steel, and Inconel, which I already have the materials for, allows me to wear glasses that basically do like AR, augmented reality type stuff. And then I would want to be adding the ore scanner, which is Electrum, Silicon, and Waspaloy. So once I finish the Waspaloy, I'll be able to make both the sensor lenses and the ore scanner, and that's going to allow me to find ores on Vulcan much more easily. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm out of steel, like, entirely. So I'm going to go make a batch of steel in the sun, grabbing the materials, and then we'll go back to making Waspaloy. So the materials I have down here was for the Waspaloy, and I'll set those aside. Because that's Waspaloy materials that I don't want outgassed, I don't want thrown through... Oh, whoops. Misclicked. I don't want processed or changed in any way. So if you're wondering what I'm planning on doing with the heat dump, what I intend to do to upgrade the system once some other things are done is I plan to have a dedicated way to get volatiles and carbon dioxide that are not... I'm going to upgrade that system. But I don't want to talk about that at length right now because it's just going to be confusing until I'm working on it. There's no need to really go into detail. But that is something I intend to do, is to improve gas intake for the base's volatiles and carbon dioxide, which is like pretty important when trying to create CO2 for the farm and volatiles for rocket fuel and water. I also had acknowledged that I was kind of low on silicon, so I'll get that while I'm here too, and throw that through the arc furnace. Because that will give me some nitrogen, which is good for the soybeans. Alright, what's my suit at? Waste tank's only at 1,000? I've got some more time left. Why is that? Yeah, snap back. There we go. Alright, so 2, 4... I'm going to move the silicon. Oh, I can't even... I'm going to actually drop the tiny scraps of lead and copper, because I, like, don't have room for the materials I need for the steel. So for the steel, I need 6 stacks of iron and 2 stacks of 6 of iron, 2 of hydrocarbon. And was kind of running out of room. So we have all but like 35 of the hydrocarbons. And without sensor lenses, I don't know if I'm done with this vein, so I'm going to go elsewhere. Looks like there's iron right over there. Will the automatic O2 filter alarm work? Yes. Nothing has changed to that system. The way that system previously worked was it slot reads slot 1, and slot 1 hasn't changed. So slot 2 changed, but as I can just... it doesn't matter. Alright, if I'm fast, although it is getting colder, there might be time left in the day to make the steel, but it's, we're losing, day temps. So I kind of doubt it. But, instead, what we could do is we could make the Waspaloy. I'll be smithing something. You like the base? Well, thank you. It's very, minimalistic chic. No frills. Alright, and then this iron is separate. That is not going into the furnace. That should go in here. Alright, so that's all the steelmaking material. It is not hot in there at all, and it is too cold in the atmosphere right now to make steel. So I'm just going to outgas everything and wait for tomorrow, because our window to make steel today is over. Alright. Let's go back inside and see how much pressurant we potentially have for the Waspaloy. Because I wouldn't mind making a batch of Waspaloy instead. I'll need both eventually. Can a new player easily get into this game? Honestly, no. I'd straight up lying to you if I said yes. It is a lot of fun once you go through the rigors and effort to learn how to play, but it is not new player friendly at all. So do not approach this game thinking, oh yeah, I'll just like learn it in an afternoon. You are going to... I mean, it really depends on, like, your personal skill and everything, of course. But, like, the average player probably faceplant struggles for, like, a week or two before they even can get off the ground. Basically, in a constant state of, like, regularly dying is probably the norm. You know? And that's coming from someone that, like, plays games for a living. I'm telling you, this game is brutally difficult. And obviously, I'm on, like, a really hard setting, being that it's Vulcan on brutal settings and all that, but even still, don't take this game lightly. It's going to be one of the more challenging, complex games you will ever play. Yeah, a matter of fact, no. It's worth it. I honestly think it's worth it. It's such a good game once you learn it. And it's unique in such a way that, like, no other game really matches it. But, yeah, it's super, super not easy. Okay. How many pressurants did we load? Oh my god, this is awful. So I've done half the pressurants. So here's the reference here. We're doing 24 pressurant loads and then fuel loads. And I'll try to be good about hiding that overlay once I'm done with it. Because I knows I was not good at that. Alright, so we are pressurizing these tanks to 975. Which, honestly, they already are at 975. Which means, yes, this is the last load of pressurant into our advanced furnace. So once these tanks are pulled and empty, reading temperature at 0K, then all we have to do is load the fuel in. Let me put a little more fuel in there. Yep, 733, come on. 7333. There we go. It changes with, like, ambient temperature and whatever. Alright, so these canisters are now... all set. The back pressure regulator here, I'm going to set this to 0. It can't really do 0, but, like, whatever. It can try. Essentially, I'm pulling all the pressurant back in to the base's CO2 tanks because we don't need it in this pipe network anymore. Not until I make Astroloy. That's the next time we're going to need pressurant. Okay. Outputs off, inputs on. So, if I'm not mistaken, all I really need to do now is to stick the 3 fuel tanks in. The fuel tanks fill up. So, they have not combusted yet. As you can see, this is uncombusted volatiles and oxygen because I haven't hit the ignition. So next step is to hit ignition and then start feeding it the ores. So ignite. It's going to get hot and pressurized as a result. Or higher pressure because of the heat. And let me move my tablet. I do not want to feed that into the advanced furnace. Speaking from experience, you can and it will destroy it. The pressure in here is rather high. But there it is. Waspaloy is done. Easy peasy. Just follow the formula. All right, now input off, output full, and we are flushing that stuff back into the base. There is nitrogen in it. It's nitrogen at 500C, which isn't like atrocious. And the only thing I'm going to worry about, though, let's turn this off for a moment, is the pressure. I might need to add, honestly, Waspaloy is the only one that's really going to, like, overly pressurize this pipe network. Because Waspaloy is unique in that it is freaking high pressure. So if I was playing it safe, what I would do is add the util. The pipe util to add a little bit of volume into the network. But, like, it's not going to consistently be an issue. Alright, so I am now having the advanced furnace chamber completely empty out, and we have made our Waspaloy. So with the Waspaloy and the steel that I will be making, that gives us the ability to make the sensor glasses, and then I have to work on the remaining super alloys that I've yet to make the hard suit. Mostly it was Astroloy. So for reference, I've made Stellite, I've made Inconel, I've made Waspaloy. I still have yet to make Astroloy, and I still have yet to make Hastaloy. Right? Or did I make Astroloy? I forget. Well, I can check in a sec. I'm just waiting for this advanced furnace to hit 0 Pascal, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll switch the inputs and outputs. I feel like if I don't do that, we could easily flush, like, fuel out of the base, or something stupid. So I'm trying to, like, stupid-proof it. Foolproof it. And if you're wondering why Red Mist, if you're wondering why I didn't recover the pressure in after the smelt, the pressure is hotter than ambient night carbon dioxide, so it would not be in my advantage to recover it. Because I made it hotter than you would want for an input gas. That makes sense. Alright, and then these guys are empty, so let's put them back in the shelf, and we're done. For now. Until the next batch. So once it's daytime, I'll be able to make the steel. We've got... Yeah, okay, so I don't have Astroloy. That's what I thought. So the sensor glasses requires 5 steel. I have literally 0, if I'm not mistaken. I just, like, used up the last of it. So, we'll wait until I've got steel for that. Looks like the farm is doing just fine. The other thing I could try to do is to obtain the materials for the other super alloys. So, actually, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put them in order. So, Stellite, Inconel, in the order of this chart. So, the next one would be Astroloy, and that is steel ingots, which we just are about to make a batch of steel, copper ore, and cobalt ore. I do not recall whether this cobalt ore is, degassed. So, I'm going to put it away, because I don't know its degassed, condition. And therefore, I don't want to include it in a smelting. So let's update the priority. Make Astroloy and Hastaloy. And then the new suit and glasses and all that. Alright, before I go back out, check on... So 2 MPA... 9. Okay. Drill, go away. 85. 58. Okay, yep. All the gases and pressures and all that look fine. They don't look abnormal. So we're gonna try to find cobalt. Well, ideally I'll try to find all the materials. So that would be a stack of nickel, a stack of cobalt, 2 stacks of lead, a stack of silver, a stack of nickel. So 2 stacks of nickel, 2 of lead. Oh no, I'm reading wrong. Cobalt, copper, 2 of nickel, cobalt and nickel. Yeah, okay, the silver. Sorry, that was super confusing. But if you can read better than I can, then you're fine. So we need, essentially, to oversimplify this, we need copper, cobalt, nickel, silver. And I need, like, reading lessons. Or glasses, or both, or something. I don't know. Need to be less stupid. You know what I need? I need my wife back. She's been out of town this whole week, and I am super sleep deprived, having been the one-man dad. The rad dad, and it's, yeah. So I blame toddler brain for my inability to read charts. Which is like a bad condition to have, given the complexity of his game, but, you know, whatever. Alright, so here's some lead. And copper. And it was 2 stacks of lead? No, I don't need any lead. Good job, me. Okay, forget the lead. I need copper, cobalt, nickel, silver. So, copper... I think I just mined out the last of that copper. Oh, the sun is coming up, though, so we'll be able to make the steel soon. And that's going to help a lot, because with the steel, I'll be able to get the ore scanner and sensor goggles. Glasses, whatever, and lenses. And that's like, huge. So we need cobalt, silver, and nickel. And then as soon as the ambient temperature... Oh, here's some cobalt. As soon as the ambient temperature hits 627, we can make the steel. You surprised I can even function? I'm running on 5 hours of sleep. Of constantly interrupted sleep. So, yeah. I'm not saying I want sympathy. I decided to have a child, right? It's my own... Got no one to blame but myself. But just for reference of what I'm dealing with. Yeah, I see the nickel right there. Center screen. Whoa. So, we've got the copper and the cobalt for the Astroloy, and now we need the nickel, silver, and cobalt for the Hastaloy. So, a stack of nickel. Which, I had the chart up and I wasn't watching where I was going, but it was in this mountain a second ago. For real, I was staring at it. Oh, there's some right there. Yeah, this is not a 5 hours kind of sleep kind of game. Yeah, it's true. It is true. And I'm pretty sure the nickel that was in my belt have not been outgassed, because I haven't outgassed anything but cobalt. So, silver. So now the shopping list is 2 stacks of silver. No, yeah, 2 stacks of silver and more cobalt. Oh, I should have grabbed more cobalt while I was there. But it's about to be hot enough for the steel. And then we can benefit from googly goggles. So let's pivot and do the goggles. And then I'll get the rest of the materials. No storms coming, that's good. There's our steel. Alright, sensor. So the sensor glasses require silicon and Inconel. So here's the Inconel. And silicon's in this one. And this will also need like a large battery, probably, because this is battery glasses. So we're gonna need to fire up the e-printer. For now, I could just like rip a battery out of somewhere, but yeah, we're gonna want the e-printer for battery for sure. Okay. Pressure's gone up. Sensor's fine. Yeah, everything looks fine. As soon as I think the plants don't look mature, but as soon as the plants mature, we're gonna want to we'll deal with that. Harvest them and then resow them. So the next one is Waspaloy and Electrum. Waspaloy and Electrum for the ore scanner. Large battery needs the copper and the steel. So in your glasses, there's 3 processing units that you can install in it. There is the celestial tracker, the like base X-ray, for lack of a better term, and then the ore scanner. So here we go. The T-ray scanner, which can be inserted in the sensor lenses to show you like the overlay of pipes, cables, etc. So it allows you to like X-ray your base. And I can make that eventually if we want. The celestial scanner, which will show you wow, it doesn't tell you anything. It shows you like the stuff around Vulcan, the moons and things like that. Where Janus is, you know. And then the ore scanner, which shows you ore. Alright, so let's get the large battery. Also, dead filter. Alright, so with the sensor lenses, we turn it on, I can see the ores. So gold and iron, you know, and once we're outside it will be a lot more clear, but it's just way easier to find what you want to look, what you want to grab that way. Alright. Tend to our food and water. And then, continue on the hunt for the Astroloy and Hastaloy setup. And thank you for the blessings. Yeah, sneeze came on hard. And now my character has some really spiffy glasses on his head, too. So given that I already have the steel, copper, and cobalt, maybe we just make the Astroloy now? Because the hard suit does not require the Hastaloy. So like I still want to make Hastaloy, but it's not necessarily required for that process. So the Astroloy requires copper and cobalt, 50 of each, and then a stack of 100 steel, right? So let's grab our steel and stack split it I can do 2 stacks of 50, or I could increase this to stack size 100. Doesn't really matter. So if I do stack size 100, feed it in, and then eject the rest, because I pulled the handle. So here is the materials that we need. I'll set it in my belt. Oh, whoops. Nested belt. That's not what I meant to do. So, cobalt, copper, steel. I'm just double checking because I feel like an idiot today. Steel, copper, cobalt. 150-50. Perfect. And then we load up 3 tanks of fuel for that. About the same pressure as the Waspaloy. I wonder if you could make... I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so let's put the steel away and get the process going. And I'll just... Yeah, there we go. That's fine. So before we do that, before I go into the furnace, I have a pretty good amount of pressurized fuel. Just going to top it up a little bit more so I don't run out of fuel while I'm there. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel. I made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Vulcanites.